Hi everyone, my name is Jess. If you don't know, now you know. So today, capitalism really popped off, stole my funds, because I may have splurged on some books. But we make our money to spend our money, give ourselves joy, so embrace that, y'all. But also save for retirement, that's kind of important too. I've been purchasing these books over time, for at least 6 months or so. So don't think I'm moneybags over here just buying all these books at once, because some of these booktubers, they splurge. But also, they get tax write-off. I make no money from this shit, so I get nothing. But besides the point. Anyway, also, I don't think you've ever met my son. This is Uzi. This is my son. He's my pet bearded dragon. Anyway, let's just start with this pile over here of what I have. I will discuss some of the books I've read already, some of the books I have not read already. A lot of them are part of series, so that's fun. Let's start off with the ultimate steal of my life. So a while ago, I found this box set. It was called Fierce Reads. It was a Barnes & Noble box set of YA fantasies. The first book in 4 different series. It was only $10, so I had to jump on that because your girl was trying to broaden her horizons with the type of genres of books that she likes to read. So, in this set, we've got Cinder, which is book 1 of the Lunar Chronicles. I haven't read this yet, so I don't know, but all of the other books are on Kindle Unlimited, which is nice, so if I don't like it, I could still read them there. Or if they're not worth buying the rest, because, I'm picky about that. We also have the Summoner series, so that's fun. I haven't read this yet as well. I don't really know much about it, but we'll give it a shot. And then, these two I actually have read, so Shadow and Bone. I enjoyed it. I think I rated it like a 3.5 star. The concept was fun. It was just very much like, oh, all of a sudden she can summon her power, okay. Anyway. And then The Kiss of Deception. This book is by Meyer Pearson, who is the author of the Dancing Thieves duology. So this is in the same world. I haven't read Dancing Thieves yet, but I was like, I might as well pick this one up first since she wrote this one beforehand. Along with Shadow and Bone and The Kiss of Deception, I also purchased the 2nd and 3rd books because they're both trilogies. After that, because I was like, oh, this is good, I want to read more. So I have read the 2nd book in the Remnant Chronicles, The Heart of Betrayal. I like this one a little bit more because this is when the plot actually begins. The first one, it's a little bit slow until the end. So that's the one I really got into it. Beauty of Darkness I still have not read yet, but I'll fill you in on the tea once I do. Then it comes to the next 2 books in that, and Shadow and Bone. So I did read Siege and Storm. I liked Nikolai, What a King. That's all I have to say. And then this is the 3rd book, Ruin and Rising. Haven't read this yet. On my TBR. Let you know how it goes. I also recently purchased the 2nd and 3rd books of the Arc of Scythe series. If you're not familiar with the series, this is what the first book looks like. It won a prize. This was my favorite book I read last year. Super good. If you haven't read it, read it. I would describe it as a YA dystopian, but it's set in a utopian world. And I love the plot. It's super fascinating, super interesting. If you haven't read it, pick this shit up right now. That's a threat. I got the next 2 books recently. Red Thunderhead, super good. This is my only 5-star read of the year so far, but it's probably because I'm just biased to the first book. Still very good. Very good read. The Toll is the 3rd book in the trilogy. I haven't read this yet. I also know that there's a book called Gleanings that Neal Shusterman, the author, wrote with his son. It's not really part of the main trilogy. It's more I believe it's more of a spin-off. Now for other books that I've already read this year that I purchased relatively recently. This was my first read of the year, so I read this back in January. Bunny. This is infamous. I feel like you can't really describe this book. You just have to read it. It's very much is this an unreliable narrator? Is this person in a cult? Was this person drugged? Are they mentally ill? Do they have schizophrenia? It's up for interpretation, which I really like. but it's hard to figure out if you like or hate this book because there's no definitive answer. But I would recommend this to anyone just because it's an experience like no other reading this. It's just a trip. And then A Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I also read all of Heartstopper because it's fucking cute as shit. You know, I wanted to read one of her novels. It's cute, but you take it or leave it. The next book that I have is Sally Rooney, Beautiful World, Where Are You? This is my first Sally Rooney book. I know most people read Normal People first. I wanted to pick up this one. I haven't heard like too many people talk about it. I feel like it definitely has, you know, her writing style. She doesn't like to use quotes, so something to get used to. It's very slow paced, but she kind of talks about philosophies of life through different characters' lenses. So this follows four adults, like coming of age, but like as an adult, I guess. You know, navigating their late 20s, early 30s, and you know, how they're dealing with their situation. They're in different places in life, they have different jobs, that sort of thing, and kind of how their lives cross and they come together. I don't know if I love or hate her. I feel like most people have a very definitive opinion about Sally Rooney. I'm not one of them because I feel like it's just not normally what I gravitate towards, but I didn't hate it. This was my most recent book I finished, called Oh. This book is about a grumpy old man, and as you know, you kind of read about how he interacts with his community and his neighbors, and how he may be grumpy, but he has a heart underneath all of that, and it kind of gives you flashbacks to what happened with him and his wife. It's very sad, it's very heartbreaking, but it's heartfelt. Ultimately, couldn't really relate to any of the characters. It moved pretty slow pace for me, so I only rated it 3 stars, but I can see why people would really like this book. I usually rate things more so on how much I'm enjoying the reading experience. So, River Enchanted, it's very much like fun fantasy book. Don't really know much else about it. Sometimes it's nice to go into things blind. I'm not even gonna read the back of this and just go in blindly, like I did with Bunny, and that was a time. Similarly, A Magic Seed with Poison. I've heard good things about this book. Mostly, I'm trying to branch out to reading things more culturally diverse because we need that representation. But, like, look how gorgeous this cover is. Really, that's what I'm here for. It says, oh, to enchant fantasy lovers. And there's magic. I'm a hoe for anything that has magic in it, so, like, we gotta represent over here. I got Light Lark by Alex Astor. Just all over TikTok. I just heard the hype. I wanted to be part of it. It sounded interesting. And like, look at the corners of the pages. Like, isn't that so pretty? You got Court, which is the 4th book in the Crave series. It's my guilty pleasure series. I was reading it on Kindle Unlimited, and then I read through the 3rd book, and the 4th one wasn't available yet, so I purchased the 4th one for it to then become available on Kindle Unlimited a month later. But now, because I have only the 4th one physically, I need to go back and get the other 3, and then also the 5th one, which sometime in 2022, that one came out. I haven't read that one yet. Guilty pleasure series. Very much enjoy this series. So there's vampires, there's werewolves, there's dragons and witches, and also a special super snowflake unique main character with good times. And you know, I don't want to ruin it for you if you wanted to read the series. But also, like, these books look super chonk, right? They do have a lot of pages, but the chapters are really like 2 to 5 pages. They're very short, so it's very easy to read and easy, you know, to get through. Last but not least, my sister, for Christmas, got me Les Miserables. Because I began collecting these Barnes & Noble special editions. Like, just look how gorgeous. View the reflection. I'm living for this. At some point, I hope to read it. But she's the ultimate chonk. Like, this book has 908 pages. This is a full fucking commitment. This is like almost 3 novels in length. Do I have the attention span for this? Do I have the big brain energy for this? Debatable. But will I do this? Will I accomplish my goal? Hopefully. But I want to get through all of the other books that I have started from series that I have on my physical TBR here. I'm also reading Harry Potter for the first time on my Kindle, so that's a time. But yeah, so hopefully eventually I get there. But anyway, if you like this video and you feel compelled, you can give it a thumbs up. You don't have to. I will not force your thumbs. I won't be like that guy from Ratatouille who killed a man with his thumb. You can subscribe. This is painful. Okay, you know what? Do what you want. Hope you have a great day and live your best life. Authors who make their chapters like 30 to 40 pages long, what is wrong with you? I have no motivation to read that. But